You are thinking about your budget for your new building project, and you're not entirely sure how architects' fees are calculated. So you don't know what you should be looking for as you figure out who to hire. And you're not alone. While many people engage with university-educated professionals like doctors, accountants, and dentists on a regular basis, most people will only work with an architect a few times in their entire life, if at all. So it's understandable if you're not entirely sure why an architect charges a premium for their services, or how paying for an architect's services up front can save you money in the long run. There are 6 key things that you're paying for when you hire an architect. And each of these things is worth considering as you decide what architect you want to work with. Time. The primary thing that you're paying for when you work with an architect is their time. This includes and is not limited to the time they spend designing, drawing, thinking, researching, coordinating, emailing, talking on the phone, reviewing building codes, and liaising with the city. Most architects bill by the hour, so you'll receive detailed invoices that break down how much time they spent on what activities. This is why being prompt with your communications is so important, because any additional time that an architect has to spend reminding you to pay an invoice or sign a document is time that you're paying for. Foresight. Another thing that you're paying for when you work with an architect is foresight. It's being able to know what you're getting and what to budget for upfront. Making changes once construction is underway is exponentially more expensive than making changes in the schematic design phase of your project. So working with an architect is equivalent to measuring twice and cutting once. This means that you can sleep better at night, knowing that there will be fewer unforeseen expenses down the road. Design sensibilities. Something else that you're paying for when you work with an architect are their design sensibilities. Just because an architect's job is highly technical doesn't mean that the work that they do for you is only focused on function. Form and aesthetics also factor into their designs. Not only that, but an architect also knows how to marry form and function based on the context and culture of your project's location. This allows them to blend new and old technologies, materials, and building techniques in a way that complements both your personal style and preferences and the designs of pre-existing structures. Sweat equity. Another thing that you're paying for when you work with an architect is sweat equity. It's all the time and effort that they've put into getting an education and building connections with other professionals in their industry. So when you hire an architect, you're essentially getting access to this treasure trove of knowledge and relationships that would take you a lot of time and money to access on your own, if you can even access these things at all. Many of the experts that your project needs to be successful won't meet with you until after you start working with an architect. Additionally, an architect will refer you to experts who they trust to do a good job the first time around. This can save you money because the architect that you're working with will spend less time that they would be billing you for, checking their work. Professionalism. Something else that you're paying for when you work with an architect is professionalism. It's the promise that they will adhere to the high health and safety standards laid out by the professional associations to which they belong. Felix Culpa Architecture is licensed with the Ontario Association of Architects and with the American Institute of Architects in Michigan, and their membership is dependent on them holding professional liability insurance, which guarantees that high-quality building standards are followed and implemented. Quality attention. The last thing that you're paying for when you work with an architect is quality attention. It's them having the energy and resources to build rapport with you and to do their best work. At Felix Kulpa Architecture, we only take on a certain number of projects at once to ensure that we deliver exceptional results. This means that we need to charge a certain amount for our services in order for this to be a sustainable business model, which our clients understand and appreciate, not least of all because they want the best that we can offer. If this sounds like you, contact Felix Kulpa Architecture today to learn more about what we can do for you.